Hello all my AJR fans out there. In this video, we are going to be discussing all the recent news surrounding AJR's new single, I Won't, and what this means for the future. And of course, if you find this video useful at all, I would encourage you to please subscribe. I absolutely love to talk about AJR and will totally be making more content just like this, so that would be greatly appreciated. All right, so let's dive into this a little bit and start off with a little timeline. First off, way back in April 22nd to be exact, AJR released this TikTok of Jack singing the part of the new song while driving. And in the description, they asked if they should play this new song during tour. And keep in mind, this was just a few days before the 2022 OKO tour was set to start. And as many of us know by now, they have indeed played this song at, I'm pretty sure, every single show in 2022. So a lot of us have already heard this song, but if you haven't yet, there are a ton of videos that you can just look up and they're still there where you can hear pretty much the whole song. Now moving ahead to some more recent news, just a few days ago, there's a tweet of a TikTok video saying, maybe finally announce a release date for the new song. Maybe this is us showing the blurry artwork. Pre-save the song if you think we should do it tomorrow. And the first time I read through this tweet, I totally had the melody for OK Overture. One day, maybe someday. Which I'm pretty sure was the intent behind that. But regardless, this was the blurred image that they were talking about. So with this, the internet went wild and had a lot of creative art made based on what they think this image was. And by far, I think the winner of all that was this image right here. After this Twitter user made this image, you saw a bunch of people on Twitter change their profile to this, which I thought was super funny. And my initial thought after seeing this was that it reminded me a lot of this, which is a picture of Chris Martin from Coldplay wearing this alien mask. So for a split second there, I had this real deep hope that Coldplay and AJR would be doing a collab together, which I mean is probably not happening, but at least I can hope. And all that was kind of just for fun because the next day we actually got the image. And this is actually what it looks like. And from this, we can see that it's Jack's hat, right? And it's floating above a crowd of people who look in awe of the whole situation. Now, this image is what I wanted to spend a lot of today talking about because there's been a lot of talk about what it isn't, and what it means going forward. Now, the first thing that I wanted to point out about this image is that it very clearly does not include those clay dolls or those little characters that we're very familiar seeing on the cover art for AJR. And one could say that because this is just a single, that they didn't want it to look too much like an album, and so they didn't include those characters. But if you look back at even Bang, they included those characters. So all in all, this kind of struck me as a little odd and that it seemed somehow different. Which then led me to my next question, which was, is this a part of OKO or is this something new, like part of a new album? And apparently I didn't have to wait too long to find the answer because just today, as of when I'm recording this, AJR responded to a tweet saying, "This is the single art. You'll see, like all the other eras, it'll all make sense eventually." So it looks like this is a new era. And I would assume that with a completely different look and the fact that they've been talking about a new album recently, that this is probably part of a new album. But just to give it a little bit more evidence for this theory, about a month ago on June 15th, there was this TikTok that was put out of Jack listening to this song. And in it, he says that he thinks it would be a perfect opener for the next album. So clearly, a new album is on their minds. So let's just say that this is all true and that I Won't is part of a new album. When would we see this album potentially drop? And to that, I would say that it's possible we see a new album as early as spring, maybe summer of 2023. And the reason why I say this is because AJR has almost consistently been releasing albums every 2 years, and mostly in the spring, early summer. And since OKO came out in spring of 2021, spring 2023 just makes a lot of sense. Now, I would caution to keep in mind that this has been an incredibly big tour, and I could easily see them needing a little bit more time to get things finished, and at the very least, I think we can expect to see a new album or at least an announcement by fall of next year, which just saying that seems kind of crazy. And I mean, anyone who's been a part of tour this year probably feels that that's really quick. Now, just keep in mind that this is just me speculating, and I by no means have all the answers. These are just my thoughts. Now, I just have one last thing that I wanted to bring up. Say this single is indeed part of a new album, and that album would be coming relatively soon. Given this album cover and the fact that they said this is somehow related to the new era, what can we decipher from this image about what is potentially the new AJR? And when I first look at it, the thing that stands out to me the most is the fact that it looks extraterrestrial. I mean, you have the hat that looks like a UFO, you have a crowd of people reacting to it as if it's some kind of spacecraft, it's glowing, and just to top things off, it looks like they're in the middle of the desert. And anyone who's ever heard theories about UFOs knows that there's a ton of sightings that take place in the desert, right? So with all this in mind, does this mean that AJR is absolutely going all space themed? No. I mean, it's possible that they are going with this theme. However, it's also possible this is just the style of art they wanted to go with this single. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see. And that, my friends, is everything I wanted to talk about in this video. But remember, the song comes out on August 28th, so don't forget to pre-save. And again, if you haven't done so yet and want more content just like this, I would greatly appreciate if you subscribe to the channel. It helps me out and it helps you keep informed about AJR. And of course, I'd love to know your thoughts, so feel free to leave a comment below or join the Discord server where we talk about a lot of this kind of stuff. And thank you so much for watching to the very end, and I'll see you in the next video.